Guess what we're making? It's one of my favorite things. It combines two of my favorite ingredients, fresh pressed olive oil and smoked Spanish paprika. Game-changing ingredient. Make sure you guys are using it in your kitchen. And what are we doing with this magical rub? I don't know if you would call it rub. I would call it a I don't know, maybe a breading. We're going to make a magical breading to go on a rack of lamb. So yeah, before I actually start working in the food processor, let me show you how I prep my rack of lamb. So this is just out of the package. It's fairly clean. There's not a lot of excess fat or anything. I would say it's actually pre-trimmed if you were to buy this. But one of the things I like to do is to get to add a little extra crispness to this is trim these back prior to putting on the coating, the crumb coating. I like to kind of trim this back a little bit because this, as it starts to roast, it actually helps get a little bit more crispy and crispness to the lamb chop. So I'm just doing a little pre-slice here, as you can see, and that will actually help a lot as we move forward. So I'm going to put this here. Sorry, let me grab a paper towel over here. All right, so in a food processor, let's take a few ingredients and make our rub. So first things first, fresh pressed olive oil, of course. That goes in. Gonna go with a little garlic. Can you see that, Megan? A little chopped garlic in there. 2 cloves and the smoked Spanish paprika. So we're gonna start with those ingredients. And let's put a smidge of salt in there. A little pepper. Just regular black pepper, a little of that. We're going to season our lamb too with that. But let's just get this going first. Get our garlic and our pimentón infusing in our olive oil. Oh wow, that color is so cool. So here is the really interesting twist in this kind of exterior to this roast lamb. It uses rye breadcrumbs. Really interesting. I've heard of, using pistachios or panko breadcrumbs, but this is really interesting. So once you have this mixture going in there, you take these torn pieces of rye bread and you place them in your food processor bowl, and then put that right on there, close it, and here we go. So you're basically making your own crumb mixture here using the rye. Let's see. Let's check it out. Megan, I think we're going to need a more powerful food processor. This little baby one is not cutting it in our small little apartment. But anyway, I think it was just really one piece in there that was maybe a little dry. But just to give you guys a little idea of what it looks like is this. I'm going to take the... Let's just set that out of the way. All right, next step is I want to season my lamb because you got to start layering in all the seasoning. So I really don't want to, especially this underside, you can really put some salt on so it really gets some nice seasoning. Got a little black pepper here, put a little of that on there. On this side. Put a little bit more on this side. Oh, I love this fresh cracked pepper. I love lamb. It's one of my favorite foods. And, all right, so that's looking good. So now, crumb mixture. Bread and crumb. Still not really sure what to call this. Megan, what would you call it? Bread crumb mixture? I don't know.
Infused olive oil. It's now like a Pimentón infused olive oil, so that's nice.
Yeah, it is a nice infused olive oil. So, yeah, I'm kind of just packing this. I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see. So I'm kind of just spreading this around. Kind of getting it on here. I'm trying not to mush it too much because I don't want to smash it and make a helmet. I want to have a little bit of space around it because the garlic and the pimentón and the olive oil, it's all just going to kind of roast together. And it's going to season all the fat really well. So let's see. I think that's pretty good.
Just doing the top.
Yeah, I'm just more or less doing the top. I'm going to get a little bit. I want to use as much of this as I possibly can because it's going to be really, really yummy. And then I have a roasting pan. Whew, cutting boards. Getting tight. It's a party in here. All right, so I have the lamb. Look at this beautiful rack. It's going to go in there. I'm going to place it in the oven, and as soon as it's done, I'll pull it out and show you what I got, and we're going to taste it together. We are back. This is just out of the oven and smells incredible. It is the Pimentón roasted lamb. It was made with breadcrumbs, as you guys know, or I don't know. We still haven't exactly figured out what we're calling it. A crumb, a rub, a coating. I think I'm just going to call it delicious, but we're going to see here in just a minute. So anyway, I'm going to take this off the rack. Just so you know, it was cooked for 450 degree oven. We roasted it for roughly 20 minutes. We removed it at 125 degrees and we tinted it later in the process if we saw it getting brown, overly brown. See, like here, you don't want this to like burn. You can tint it with a little bit of foil and that'll help slow that down. But really it wasn't a problem. I was kind of expecting it to with that rye bread and all that oil. I was kind of expecting it to burn a little bit, but it did not. So very pleased with that. So anyway, follow the directions on however you like your lamb. We're like medium rare. In our household, it's really nice with a rack because usually at the ends, it's usually, of course, a little more cooked than toward the center. So it's more rare, so you can please quite a few different preferences in your household. And after it's rested, it's nice and cool. I'm just going to move it to my board. I'm going to stick that over here. And then, let's see here. I want to try with this knife. Oh, I don't know if you guys can hear that, but the crust is just like crackling. Just cracking and popping. This will be more, oh, look at that. It's just beautifully cooked. Ooh, and there's a little crumb. Put that right on top. And that dividing that we did, you can really see here on the back. See this added crispness you get? It's really nice. So I do like that technique. So next time you're roasting any kind of lamb, try to do that little trick. That'll be. Aha. No win there. I'm gonna change knives. Megan, do you know? Well, I'll just use the one I'm having for dinner. I'll use a serrated knife. I prefer. Then I can get right between that bone. So it looks like that. That's what we're really going for. And I'll do one more. Using this little serrated knife. Just find that little joint. Go right between. Beautiful. Nice. Oh, this is going to be a big dinner. And then for any little extra crumbs that have fallen off, I'm just going to sprinkle that on as a little garnish. You'll still get all the flavor in there of the paprika crumb, And let's see, I've got some green beans. Now with my steamed green beans, I like them just simply steamed. That's a little too much olive oil. Never use those words, too much olive oil, but a little too much olive oil. And of course, I'll put a little olive oil on there too. So this is the dish. I can't wait to try it. Let's get in there. You see okay, Megan?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Wow. This smoked Spanish paprika. I mean, I love smoked Spanish paprika. It's one of my favorite ingredients. It's really cool to have around. Such a weird angle. It's a great ingredient to have to add a smoky element to dishes. If you don't want to be outside and barbecuing and adding smoke flavor, you can do it inside using the smoked Spanish paprika. Also great if you have vegetarian or vegan friends and you're making like long stewed vegetables such as I don't know, collard greens or something like that, where you want to add a little bit of smoky flavor without adding any smoked meat. It's a great way to add a little smoked flavor as well. Here is the lamb. Here we go. Wow. It tastes very Spanish, actually. Lamb, they eat a ton of lamb in Spain. I love the garlic. I love the pimentón. And I love the rye bread, which is really interesting. So can't wait for you guys to try this recipe. I'd love to hear how you make your rack of lamb. If you have any secret recipes for rack of lamb, send it to me. I'd love to make it. Happy drizzling.